I almost forgot to hit the record button, but it's 4:45 in the morning. I don't even feel tired yet. And I have literally nothing to do because I'm out of YouTube videos to watch, and of course, being at 4, almost 5 in the morning, nobody's online to do anything with right now, so I'm just recording this. Granted, in 10 minutes, your video would upload, but that alone isn't enough. It's only good for like 15 to 20 minutes, depending if I have to put a comment down. That sometimes I obviously don't have anything to comment on. And this is gonna be the Monza episode because we have this road course, then we have the full course, the same track, and then we have the modern version. But yeah, I figured this is also the best way to kill the next hour-ish, because I did say I was going to get back into doing these for the time being. So a brief recap on the point standings are that I believe it is Dusty Angel in the points lead. 6 behind him is Vert Wheeler, and then another 7 behind that is I believe. And well, things aren't looking that great right now, as Vert really had a big disadvantage in these next 3 races, having the lowest, or one of the lowest powered cars. At Monza is usually a death wish, and Dusty is lost. It's not quite how you win championships. X3 is just plain, like, dirt rally over there. If holding your car isn't usually how you win a championship, but unless you're playing Hot Wheels Velocity X, but otherwise I don't really think so. Oh, we didn't need a braking board anyway. So currently, Race Cam is the leader. So fast, creating a small train behind him. Which 16-year-old apparently doesn't like that idea, so he just muscles so fast into the grass. Cost him pretty dearly, because now he's getting assaulted by X3 gearheads running in the wings. Dusty's at the gearhead. So he's getting big advantage. The gearhead ran out of top speed there. Got a little bit risky. Not that risky. And that isn't last. The problem, of course, is like the second least powerful car, but Bert started way ahead of that. I even started ahead of him, and I'm just in front of these two, Danny and that. So further details given on the future acts. Act 17 is going to be randomized characters, because the video from a while ago is a little outdated, and while I like the characters that have come up, I don't know, I just felt like randomizing the game, because I like randomizing stuff. It's way MMOs, because I like to torture myself with random drop chances that never work, because I'm nothing if unlucky when it comes to that sort of thing. Not just MMOs, but just like RPGs and games with that sort of system in there, which nowadays is kind of all of them, with the whole loot box craze ever since Counter-Strike or Overwatch, depending on how you loot at it, really. I'm pretty sure Counter-Strike started it, but Overwatch kind of made it the trend by being Overwatch. See, Act 17 is random cars basing the vehicle, or random characters basing the cars off of chosen characters. Like, for example, if, like, within the first 2 or 3 characters that get selected, if, like, a Powerpuff Girl comes up and they will be put in a crossbow, and therefore the other cars in the race will be, you know, meant to be matched with the crossbow. Well, Dusty hasn't gained as many positions as I thought he would have by now. Alex is actually on the attack. I suppose the damage to his body panels isn't really helping his cause, but I don't know. Alex hasn't had the greatest results from what I can remember in this act, despite his resounding success in many other acts. I digress. So Act 17 is random characters and undetermined vehicles. Act 18 is team event, which is 3 teams of 5. No, 5 teams of 3. 3 teams of 5. I did it right. 3, 6, 9, 12. 5 teams. Yeah, I can do math. I swear. As long as it's not algebra, I can usually do it better. Just the fact that I'm not fully awake. I'm like 65%, I would say. And I need to be at least 90 to do complicated math that isn't something like 5 plus 6. Or elementary things like that. I wasn't sure whether I would do 2 teams of 7 or 3 teams of 5. Then I kind of realized I did the 2 teams of 7 before. 3 teams of 5, I have to find fewer vehicles that are even with each other. Or 5 teams of 3. 5 teams of 3. Number of characters on one team is lower. That's what I kind of want. So yeah, 5 teams of 3 drivers each. I don't know what is wrong with me right now. I don't know why I can't just figure that out. This is definitely a burn track right here. All 3 of these are very burn tracks. Maximum power and little in the way of anything else to deal with, like, sharp turns. I mean, there's kind of one, the right-hander up here. It's not a left turn. Where did I even get that impression from? God, it looks like the identical car from this distance, but that's not at all the case. Ferrari is very different from a Nissan, but from here they look like the same car. Potential in the random character selecting too for some unique characters that haven't actually appeared yet to appear, should their name get drawn. I also don't know in Act 18 what the vehicles will be. I have an idea of who some of the characters will be. They'll kind of be like the classic, like, 10 to 5 thing, like, or probably like 10 to 5 or 9 to 6. And Subclass just getting pummeled. I think he just brakes early. He has to brake really early because his old-timey brakes don't stop him very well. His opponents aren't really equipped to deal with such an occurrence. He does eventually pass Subclass, but there have been another lap. first of all, so fast just like hit top speed here. It takes a while to reach it, but so fast this car has a stupid top speed. Yeah, you could have really paid for that, because the gearhead was not too far off waiting for that kind of thing to happen. We're silver so fast, calm down. So we have 2 races to go now. Looks like it'll be basically between Burn and Dusty for the points. Unless something crazy happens and Twin Mill wins. I don't think Vert has much of a chance at either of these tracks. The modern version, possibly, but definitely not this version where it's just mostly straight. I would expect that Burn would do the best here of the, well, arguably 4, because 16 Angels can take the points lead by a miracle, as can Gearhead for that matter, but Gearhead is almost impossible because Dusty would need to not even score, and I don't really think that's happened yet. So we head now to the full course. Another loading screen with audio only playing in my right ear. Okay, the music is off. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I don't know what those cars will be, but I'm pretty sure it'll be like, it'll probably be 9 Hot Wheels characters, myself, and then 5 additions. Kind of that standard selection that I think I've done most of the time. If it's not, usually it's pretty close to that. Maybe it's in like 8, 6, and 1, or 10, 5, or 10 and 4 and 1, but 9, 5, 1 seems like kind of a good mixture. If I did do two teams of, or 7 teams of 2 drivers, I would have probably put me as the odd one out this time, because, well, this time there's nobody to debut. Before Captain Falcon made his debut that way, and he almost won at least the Drivers' Championship alone. He didn't win Constructors because he didn't have a teammate. He was the only one in a slightly faster car, a car which is now Twin Mill's vehicle. A slightly better car than what his opponents had, even though one of them is actually here, one of those cars being the 458. The team that actually won that. Let's skip. Well, they're making them work for it. They're making them work to keep their points lead. All of them. All of the big guys in the points standings, except for 16 Angels, are in the are below 10th. Gearhead just out of here. All-wheel drive for you. Actually, he also has all-wheel drive, but is a much heavier vehicle than Gearhead's, but has better top speed in the long run, which is the more important attribute on this course. Sixteen years almost seem to be maliciously blocking Twin Mill. After 19 is going to be Group C cars. Say what they are, but I mean, I guess if you care enough, you can look up what that is and then look at the car list and see which ones of this game are. But the idea is there would be 3 models, I think. This is the 4th one I'm forgetting, but I don't think there is, because there are only 5 models ever made for the class, and 2 of them aren't on this game. For some reason. On Project Cars 2, all 5 models, just not here. At least not without PC mods. But I'm on a PlayStation, so I don't have that, unfortunately. I say big points contenders. Vert is but his top speed's like 162. And, yeah, well, you can see what kind of speed he's hitting. He'll almost be hitting 190 before he hits the second part of the oval. I don't think there's any catching Alex in this round. Yeah, there it is, 190, 191 in fact. So yeah, there isn't any catching him. So fast, tops at a 178. Governor can probably get a little further than that, but that has the lowest top speed. I think he's pretty much at it there. Gearhead's probably got the third lowest. He probably hits like 165, 166. And this is just a cataclysm here. Twinmill, he's hitting 184 here, and he still has got a bit more to go. I want to say it's probably like 193 for that, maybe 195. Governor probably like 180 flat. Twinmill I couldn't tell you. If I had to guess, probably in the 175 range. Same with Race Cam. Vern can probably easily hit 205, maybe even 215, 220. I don't know. He won't hit it here if it's that high. There's not enough room even on this track for 200 plus, unless you're in like an F1 car. Dusty should be hitting close to 180 at the very least. In fact, even Ryan Storm can hit 170 in that Supra. Danny will probably be the fourth lowest. He probably can get over 165. And as one, although it takes a long time for it to reach it, this Corvette should be capable of over 180. Should be close to 186 or 190. But it just takes so long to get to that. Because this is a 6-speed, so there's another gear even after this, and I'm already doing 145. So, yeah, I'm not even close to the limit, but it just takes so long to reach that limit that by the point that I've reached 180, Alex would be doing like 220. That has had a problem. Let's see what said problem was. You believe that was Gearhead behind him? No, Gearhead's there. Oh, he was his own problem. He just, tried too hard to get... He tried too hard to pass Vert, but didn't even move over to pass Vert. So that was kind of his fault. XC3, I think, should be able to hit 190, but that would take a while as well, because it's kind of moving a good chunk of car to reach 190, so I'm surprised if he hits it before he gets to the next turn. He hit 185 easy, but much higher than that, I don't think so. Even though the top speed theoretically would be like 205, but you need a much longer stretch. Okay, so XC3 does have the highest top speed, it seems like. 97 there. That is higher than Alex can reach. Oh, Vert can hit 170, I didn't know that. Okay, so was definitely over 175, probably closer to 185, maybe 190. I am being not terribly accurate with my assessments, it would seem. Bird is getting literally eaten alive by every other car on the track that isn't also a GT4. Twinmill is now in the draft, so he'll get even more speed. Yep, here's 185. And it doesn't look like he was done, but we have a corner, so probably 190 flat. 192 at the very highest for Twinmill's car. Anyway, the idea for the characters that would be in Act 19, I made this for 18 instead, I don't know yet. Since it's kind of on like a time, oh, good job, Twinmill. It's kind of like almost a timed, like an unseen clock timer on this one that, of kind of relevance at least, that, it would be the 14 characters from Twisted Metal, and then myself. So it'd be, you know, Metacog, Bedlam, Sparky, So Fast, Danny, Alex, Burn, Gearhead, Governor, 16 Angels, Hypermite, which that's going to be hard to do that one. Well, no, because it's just based off of it. Then that and Otto would be your competitors in Act 19. And there's 3 Group C models, and there's kind of 3, not aligned, there's kind of 3 ways that it's in the Velocity Precursor. You're either siding with Alex, siding with Danny, or you're neutral. And or with Burn. So neutral just means you don't care. Neutral just actually just is what it says. You don't care who wins. You either want it to be over or you just don't want it to stop. So technically both So Fast and Hypermite are neutral, despite the fact that Hypermite wanted to keep going because he likes the combat. So Fast wants it to end because he'd rather focus on stopping that. That, of course, is in there anyway. And that is also neutral, but he's siding with Burn, because he wants the battle to keep going. Because he benefits from them being distracted, because then he can just kind of continue to work out his own plots. Also, I didn't even notice the race is over. Yeah, Alex kind of stepped away with that one. Just a tiny bit. That will definitely put Burn in the points lead right there. With 1 round to go. Exactly 100 points. 2 more than Dusty, 7 more than both Twin Mill and 16 Angels, and 10 over Vert. I think Vert's out of it, logically speaking. Twin Mill and 16 Angels could win, but I think it's just down to Dusty or Burn here. Now, the starting grid gods will, of course, play a big role in this one. Should they choose to start 16 Angels or Twin Mill on pole, that could have a huge effect on who actually wins the championship. If they also choose to put Dusty and Burn in, like, 13th and 14th, respectively, that could also have a big change. And then in their case, it's about who can get through the field better, and also getting at least in, and of course outscoring Twin Mill and 16 Angels, so that the fight just between those two. 16 Angels and Twin Mill will have to outscore the other two by at least 7 points to win, as well as outscoring the other car that isn't Burn or Dusty. And then Bert's just kind of going to hold on and pray, because there's not much else he can actually do in this scenario. Well, I think Twin Mill is out of it. I see him over there. They put 16 Angels on pole, though, so he is far from out of it. Burn is also not in a good place. He's starting last, and Dusty is starting like 6th, I think. Yeah. However, he does have Ryan Storm in his way, which kind of plays into the hands of Burn because he has some time. But I think Dusty kind of knew that, so he's doing everything he can to try and get around him, which worked. So, okay, Burn no longer has that going for him because he's not behind him anymore. Burn's made up no places on the first lap, which is very not good for him. XT3 is going on an adventure, as is So Fast up there. Tried to fit too many cars wide around that turn. It's called Curva Grande, but it's not relevant necessarily. Not to this particular circumstance. Well, if 16 Angels stays where he is and scoring 12 points from second place. 8, 6. Dusty would need 6th. Well, he is, he's not in 6th, he is in 4th. And scoring 8 points would win him the championship over 16 Angels. Burn needs to get a move on and do that now, otherwise he is toast. He's doing that, but he's got a lot of front end damage as he probably pushed so fast off the track to get here. So fast is having problems holding a line. He's gotta have suspension damage, it would seem. He doesn't. What is wrong with his driving? He has no other kind of damage. I don't see why he was just, like, incompetent for a minute. Gearhead, kind of thinking about it. He's in no position to do it, though. If Dusty stays there in 4th, which I don't think will happen, I think he should be able to pass Gearhead before the end of the race. He will finish with 106 points. Fern would need to get to 5th to tie them. And right now, I don't think so. If I'm being perfectly honest. That's a pretty big gap to cover in 4.5 laps time. If his car were like crazy unfair, like 16 Angels was in the previous Act 14, the canceled one, maybe it would be more likely, and I wouldn't have said that. But the Lamborghini has downsides to it that make this task even harder. Not to mention Twin Mill, and not to mention that is where the governor is trying to pass Danny in front of him. Clearing Twin Mill is going to be a big step for Burton. Can't do it now, the governor's kind of blocked that off. And they both go venturing into the sand, and Burn is, well, he's getting a point. But unfortunately he needs a few more than that to win. Dusty has passed Gearhead. And I would say that with passing 60 Angels here, he would pretty much, for all intents and purposes, win the championship. Because right now, with these 10 points, Burn would need 4th. Not good braking from Dusty there. Assuming that he does pass 16 Angels, Burn would need a podium position. And that podium position is very, very far up the road. He almost took 9th from Danny, but no amount of power can help you in a turn. He has it now with ease, and he should do the same to me here. So he's in 8th, so that's like 4 points, but that's not even close to enough. Burns' only hope in heck is that 16 Angels can really deny the other Angel from going anywhere for the next 3 laps. Even Alex isn't really safe here, because his lap times are slower than Dusty's, and Dusty is even dealing with traffic. Gearhead can sit here and wait all he wants, but I don't think he's got the speed to even begin to mount a return attack. Not when Dusty is doing this as it is. Even if 16 Angels holds it on the outside here, I don't think it'll matter. Yeah, no, Dusty's just kind of gone, pal. He's got a little more power than you, better acceleration, and the speed difference isn't enough to matter. So, you can try something. You won't. You could, but you will. Hello? Alright, I guess. Open mouth insert foot right there. It didn't matter. You didn't do anything with it, but you tried, and that's more than I thought we would see here. But I think that about wraps up the championship right there with that move. Alex might win again. It's a definite maybe. Byrne is just about to pass Ryan Storm for 7th. Even from where Dusty started, I do not think this would be enough to win the championship. This would tie, I think. 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4. Okay, so you'd have won by 1 point if Dusty had started in 6th. He could get to 4th. That doesn't have much top speed, of course. And race cam doesn't have that much handling. And he's got 2 laps and change to do it in. Now Gearhead is actually on top of 16 Angels. I guess them fighting over 3rd really, or over 2nd really put Angels in a deficit. Not a very big one. Gearhead doesn't have the top speed to pass him here. Or even try, for that matter. And really, the idea that Gearhead, with like the 3rd lowest top speed here, is running 4th place and is doing currently better than Twinmill, a considerably higher top speed vehicle. Albeit, though, he started like 2nd or 3rd, I think. Remember, right? He started 3rd. And he's only lost 1 place to Dusty since that time. But that does say a lot. He's also got a pretty solid pot lap going. Byrne is the fastest on the track. Despite his damage, this time was almost the only one beat I won't get into the minutes, or get into a sub 2 minute lap. Slipstream came into play probably a tiny bit when he was going after Ryan in the same section. But, I don't think it would make that much of a difference. So, if we were in it for the long haul here with like what are you doing? Well, if you were in here for like a 12 lap race, Byrne wouldn't be out of it. However, we don't have all night. Or all morning, in my case. So therefore, really wouldn't ever put anything over 8 laps. I don't care how fast the cars are, unless they're F1 cars, they would never go over 8 laps for any track. Unless for some reason I chose to do like short layouts, like the junior course here, that might be 8 laps in like cars like these, or like well, full-on race cars like GT3s, or F1 cars, probably like a 10-lap race there. But yeah, that's not what these are, so therefore 6 laps it is. Yeah, he will get 5th, I'm pretty sure. Unless race cam just becomes, like, amazing at blocking positions. That's a no. That is really pushing his luck on on race cam here. He's just throwing it into every turn and hoping for something that I would imagine isn't coming, but that's not gonna let him stop it. That's not gonna let that stop him. Like the... What? No, you're... There's a turn there. You can't do that. Even if you were close enough, you would just run into him. What is that idea? I'm like angry with the AI that they even think that they would have a chance in hell of working. So what's so fast doing with his botched car? He's still with that chicane. Meanwhile, Bert has not even managed to get around to me. And what I surprisingly is the worst car here. I would have thought that would actually be Ryan, but no. Ryan actually looks like he might score, I think. Yeah, he will. And probably due to the cars. He's chosen over the many acts, but Alex, undoubtedly the most successful driver at Monza in this series, wins again. Dusty, a few seconds away, will win the championship with the second place finish. Gearhead doing ridiculously well in this kind of car to get a fourth place, regardless of circumstance. Byrne does break the 1 minute 59 zone, gets less than 2 minute lap, and if we had another lap, I would almost say that he could actually get to third, and therefore tie the championship, but he doesn't quite have the time for that. So, Dusty Angel is the winner. By 4 whole points, and then there's actually only another 3 back to 16 Angels. Gearhead, I don't know where he got that from. I don't really think that Audi was that good, but he managed to score a tie for 4th place. Alex had kind of a big comeback towards the end. He literally more than doubled his score. He started this episode with like 30-some points, I think, if I had to guess. But he won at least 2 of these 3 races and gained 50 points just off of those races. I don't think he won all 3. He did well in all 3, so he probably had like 20-some, maybe 30 points. I don't know, you could look back in the footage if you want to, because I don't remember. I was not last in points, despite having the worst car. Ryan Storm had some pretty bad luck in a few races. Of course, having the second worst car didn't help his odds. And so we have completed Act 16. Very delayed completion, but it has been completed. And now we have... Well, I don't even know why I'm showing this. This is not the driver lineup that we will end up having. I don't think. I may just do like an edited version of this one, because there are definitely some things in here that I enjoy. So one thing I've kind of had to think about a little bit. How is Grease Lightning getting along with this group? Because of course now it's been revealed that Grease Lightning is the new big bad of your own content, but I guess akin to Universe Zero, that in that timeline has become helpful. Here he's just neutral. Knowing that he doesn't really hold much control over this dimension, he's just trying to get back to the original dimension to, you know, exert his force on the Hot Wheels drivers. So now he's just, you know, helping him get out for his own agenda. But Grease Lightning, in this timeline, has done nothing villainous, because there's been no opportunity to do anything villainous. So, arguably, he's not a villain. Nothing to prove that he is, and nothing to prove that he isn't. He will be in the Velocity Wars in the other act, but that's also a different universe from this one. And in this universe, in Universe 0, there would also be Turbo Racing and World Race, when I get the ability to record those games. But for now, it's only this game. And in this game, you really can't do anything because the AI are just programmed to drive cleanly. I, of course, have not set up Act 18 or 19 or 20 yet. Nose is very itchy. I have kind of wondered if there was any kind of way I could tie up the universes together and scrap the 0 and 2 idea. But at the same time, that does kind of kill part of the concept. Unless I... Because if I could do it chronologically, I would, but the idea that this is happening in between the precursor to the Velocity Wars and the actual wars would really throw it off. Now, if I had finished recording all of this before I did the Velocity Wars, then I could easily say this in the same timeline. However, I didn't. One thought I had was Universe 0 is for the games on the PS4. Meaning we would end up throwing away the precursor part and just be that be the Velocity Wars. And then Universe 2, it breaks out a lot more. And it becomes Velocity X rather than just out of black. But I think the way that I've gotten it is the best way. Universe 2 is just... There's only Twisted Metal and Velocity X. And Universe 0 is this game, World Race, Turbo Racing, and Speed Racer, which I am deciding to do as well as, of course, as I mentioned before, I think as a spin-off to Stunt Track Challenge. The reason why I personally am not doing a playthrough on that is because well, I don't find the stunt challenges terribly thrilling or even thematic to what I'm doing with my own series, which is all about the racing. But there's also not enough content from the races alone to warrant a playthrough. Plus, of course, it's not like I'm really showing you anything unique. You had the game when you were young. I think you know the game about as well as I do. And would therefore not really have much to gain out of watching a playthrough of it. Or at least not as much as to gain as a playthrough of World Race. Where, while you've experienced the game for yourself, there's still plenty of the game that you haven't really caught onto or experienced yourself because you haven't had it for very long. Whereas I've had World Race for well over almost close to 15 years now. Probably like 12 or 13 years. And I'm only 17, so that's a pretty big amount of my life owning that game. Granted, Star Trek Challenge is the same way as is Velocity X, and beat that was probably like a decade ago that I got that. Almost on the dot, because I didn't get any of the game. I didn't really get PS2 games when they came out. As for what Act 20 is, I didn't quite elaborate on that. What Act 20 would end up being, probably, is either gonna be one of two things. If I can find a way to tie it in with Universe 2, that would be the true continuation of the Velocity War, with just a different mixture of the involved characters. Since there are officially 35 involved characters in the Velocity Wars. No, wait, there's 33. There's 33 cars in Velocity. What am I saying? So yeah, plenty of things to work with on that front. There's 33 characters, 27 of which I believe, 25 or 27 are Hot Wheels characters, or characters from your series. And then the rest are characters I have added myself, such as myself is a character. And of course, as the Velocity War draws nearer, and we have, like, the game started, is when I will begin to get into different characters, their vehicle, and their intentions, more or less, of why they are choosing to take part in this big war. What stake do they have in it? Do they want to end it? Do they want it continuing? Are they siding with Alex? Are they siding with Danny? Or do they just not care and they just like to fight things? and the general goal of each character to find out what makes them tick, like, or not what makes them tick, but like how their resolution comes to pass, as to, you know, how have they acquired this result. You know, like, for example, if I do the story mode thing as Byrne, how does he really keep the war? How does he really reignite the war? Now that he has extricated a few of its combatants, how does he really get it going again? Or if I can put it as Danny, does he just triumph over Alex, or does it backfire in his face? But of course, all of that is a pretty long ways down the road, and as much as I wish I could just rant about it through Velocity X, I have to wait. For how long? Hopefully not more than 2 months, but probably. Unfortunately, I don't foresee any odds of there being another game that I can do this kind of thing with after Assetto Corsa is finished, assuming that I don't, assuming that I finish it before I can record other things on other consoles. Which I would imagine probably will finish that before then. So yeah. Anyways, with my rants, I think, completed, that will be the conclusion of Act 16. I will now adjust a few of the drivers here in 17, change a couple of cars, make sure said cars are even with each other enough to make it interesting, and then we'll just go from there.